Good morning, friends, and welcome to our shorty episodes of 10 Minutes with Tammy, where we focus on all things for parents of children with special needs, from quick and helpful actionable tips, strategies, and tools to trials, tribulations, and our triumphs. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Tammy Flynn, and I am your special needs advocate and educator, and I am the host and producer of the On Air Advocate. Now, to keep myself on track, because you guys know I like to talk, I have my timer set for me here, and anything we don't finish in a segment, we definitely will pick up in another segment. And that goes along with today's title of this podcast, which is Giving Ourselves Grace. So I am going to hit the button. And also, um, all of the parents that are listening today, I am sure can understand this. I really wanted to pave out the time that I was going to get this done where I knew it was quiet. It wasn't going to be time of overwhelm or I was going to be rushing. So I've decided that my time will be 4 a.m. when I record these. And so with that, thank you for giving me grace on my little bit of morning voice that will be accompanying all of these podcasts. So here we go. Giving ourselves grace. So, in those moments of chaos, overwhelm, from the day of just getting the diagnosis to all of those milestone moments, to school IEPs, to dealing with state services, to sitting on phone calls on hold. Wow, that I feel like it consume so many parts of our life. There is such a need for us to practice patience on a regular basis, be patient with ourselves, and give ourselves the grace that we should. Because as we all know, this is not a sprint, this is a marathon. And there are certain things that we can do. I guess you could call them strategies or actionable tools that can help these things, but we all kind of develop our own toolkit. And so today I just want to throw some things into that toolkit of ideas of ways that you can give yourself grace. Now, what we're doing right now, just even in reciting that, like I will give myself grace in the morning and affirming it to ourselves, is a step in itself. So just know that. And at the end of this, when we wrap up, I have a new freebie download that I'd love to share with you guys as well. So, things that I use that I find very, very useful is the first thing is just breathing, taking that moment, whether I'm doing it in a doctor's office, I'm doing it in my car, I'm doing it in my bedroom, I'm doing things with my son, just taking those moments and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Some people now, if we talk about breathing exercises, have all different techniques that they use, but that one is one that works for me. The other one is counting backwards from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's reset. And I was just last night, because I love listening to podcasts in my ear, especially ones about mindset and moving forward, was listening to Mel Robbins. I'll try to maybe link that in this podcast, but she was talking about the 5-second rule. And I really want to get her book on that to see how I can kind of incorporate that into my practices, even though I've been in this special needs space for over 2 decades now. Any strategies can help. Also, this one is really simple, but putting your phone on vibrate. If you know you're not getting a call from a doctor within the hour, there is nothing of urgency, no child is sick that you sent off to school, even if you have it close to you so you know if it vibrates, it really helps to de-escalate things when we turn off all of these different prompts we have in our noisy world, from our computers to our phones to things dinging. I find that that becomes chaotic and overwhelming in itself. And these are devices that we carry with us all day long. So just think about that, if that might be something that could help. Depending on the age of your child, their needs. If they are in a safe space, what I have found is in lots of moments of tremendous overwhelm, I will go outside and just sit on the warm concrete outside for 5 minutes. I will take a walk right in front of my house. And now, some of you, like I said, your child has to be in a safe space. So whether that's that they're taking a nap, for me, as my son has had surgeries, I have a recliner chair, and he is older, but I'll have him in the recliner chair. I'll open the front windows to the house where I can still see him, and I will walk in front of the house up and back just to breathe that fresh air, just to take it in, and taking that moment to just recalibrate. One of the biggest things, though, in giving ourselves grace that can really help us is pre-planning and prioritizing. And sometimes I know it can seem in that moment of overwhelm like everything needs to get done. Everything is important. But really, if we narrow that down to, if you ask yourself, if this doesn't get done today, what is going to happen tomorrow? Is anything going to fall apart? Is anyone going to get sick? Is anything going to be catastrophic? If it is not going to be catastrophic and someone is not going to get ill from it, and it can wait, prioritize it down the list. I find, as at least in the space of being a mom, and for so many of us, we're just not a mom or a dad to our child with special needs, right? We have sometimes multiple children. We have a husband. We might have our parents that live in our house with us. We might have an outside job, working outside the home as well as working inside of the home. And so it's not always, just us and our special needs child that we're dealing with on a daily basis. We have all of these other things to juggle. So in the circle of parenthood, prioritize what must get done. And I really want you to think about that, because I tell myself all the time, oh, that can't wait till tomorrow. That can't wait another day. And then, as I've had moments, which I'll talk about in different episodes, of actually being rushed to the hospital and getting very, very ill and all of those kinds of things, it taught me about 6 years ago that there are definitely things that can wait till tomorrow. There are definitely things that you can prioritize down the list that do not need to be done at this moment. So I would just urge you that every day you ask yourself that, as to what actually needs to get done. And I am going to do a podcast on ways to prioritize and different tools and tips that you can use to do that. And one of those things is obviously pre-planning the night before, which we'll dive into in that other episode. The other thing is just finding moments to sit in serenity. So I know so many of us, and let me know. I mean, if you're doing any of these things, please share them with me. So who else sits in their car sometimes for 5 minutes? You pull in the garage and you just sit in the car, in that quiet, especially if you were able to go to the store by yourself. Like I said, for me, I love to sit outside. If it's warm, I live in Wisconsin, so we only get a few months of that, and we have to really cherish the little things with it. But sitting in those moments of just serenity. So I just want to read one of these affirmations. Like I said, just affirming it to yourself really helps you in the morning to remember it. And that is, I give myself grace. Be patient with yourself as you learn to navigate your special needs journey and some of the challenges that may arise with it. Try to pre-plan and prioritize items for yourself, your child with special needs, as well as your whole family. But again, this is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And I always tell people, like, grab your pair of Nikes, your water bottle that's full of patience and grace, because we are all in this for the long run. So please, I urge you to pace yourself, be gentle with yourself. And as I guess something that I have been trying to create now for a few months is a special download I'd love to share with you guys. It is a 15-page self-care toolkit for special needs parents. It joins together affirmations, um, a gratitude journal, movement activities, calming practices, and much more. So I am going to link that as just a special little gift from me to you at the bottom of this. And in there, there is a list of daily affirmations. And I would urge you that even if you just want to take one per day and look in the mirror and read it to yourself, sit in your bed in the morning and breathe for 5 seconds. And maybe your morning is different than my morning. So whatever time you arise, that you're like, hey, I'm going to be up for a few hours, grab your affirmation notes or just take those little moments of breathing and just give yourself that patience and grace, and know that you are not alone on this journey. Just breathe, take it in, and be good to yourself, friends. So until next time, thanks so much for listening in. And your 10-minute shorty episode will be back next week. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.